with the first and goal. Kuhn gets the ball. Pyle driving his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort.
Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the here comes the y'all don't really want it like that. I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the Week 9 post-game tailgate, post-red zone, pre-Sunday Night Football. This is the fantasy recap. I, of course, am your host, Nat the Truth Jones. With me, as always, the Wolf of Roto Street himself. This is the Fantasy Fullback Dive, brought to you by the folks at the Roto Street Journal, breeding, feeding fantasy wolves, paving your way to fantasy glory, and so forth. Wolf, how you doing?
I'm doing quite well. I mean, I'm still alive despite getting an absolute bludgeoning from Kyler Murray right here, just spacking me around, as he typically does, as you expect.
He will smack some bitches around.
Good Lord, the backhands have been brutal today, but I'm glad he's over. I think, now 25 points between Will Lutz and Antonio Brown, who's apparently going to get peppered early and often, and so too are my pants and everything inside them, no matter how small they are. It's definitely getting peppered down there. How about you, dude? Are you in position to win?
I'm in position to win. I'm up 14 points. I was helped and awful. I was hurt by the fact that Justin Jackson fucked with me personally. Like basically left the game like 30 seconds into the game, came back for one play on like 3rd and 16 randomly in the third quarter, did not get the ball and then never returned to the game again. That gave me a nice 0. I was extremely worried, but then my counterpart had DeAndre Hopkins, who really did almost nothing. Kind of unheard of to see a DeAndre Hopkins 3 receptions, 30 yards game. That brought me right back in it. Right now, I'm in excellent position to win. I'm down 14 points. I have the aforementioned Antonio Brown going tonight, so I'm pretty excited like you are. I've also got Chris Godwin tossed in there for fun. And then I've also got the Patriots defense sitting on the Jets on Monday night. Just
14 points. You better fucking.
I mean, right. If I don't, it's not like I've seen crazier things happen in fantasy. I certainly have seen that. I've gotten hosed worse than this. But yeah, I'm expecting to win.
As you should.
So the game in the Dallas game just went final. Steelers 24, Dallas 19. Dallas gave it a good go. Of course, they did not win because they never win. And Steelers have moved to 8-0 for the first time in franchise history. That's kind of a big deal. We also saw a pretty exciting end of the Dolphins-Cardinals game. Zane Gonzalez, usually so reliable, missing a field goal, clinching the lead. Tua with another win. What?
Yeah.
He did a couple things too. Kyler, that was more the fantasy guy in that game, was pretty awesome. Great game to watch. And that takes us, like I said, to the Week 9 post-game tailgate. We want to get right into Studs of the Week. You ready for that?
Let's get on into it. Wolfpack, let us know how you did, what you need tonight. Feel free to comment on it. We'll hit the mailbag in about 15, 20 minutes, as we always do. Just want to recap our studs, duds, the cut list, if there's anyone you can get rid of, 3 up, 3 down, as well as your waiver wire early look. So stick it out with us. We'll hit all your questions, comments, and as we go through these segments, who do you consider the stud of the week, the dud of the week, etc.? Feel free to comment on in. We will be sharing those all live after we hit our own things. But yeah, let's get right into the nominees.
All right, number 1, this guy, what's he been back for 2 weeks now? And he's just kind of taking up the stud list and the up list and the stud of the week award winner, Dalvin Cook. You might remember him. The Wolf said something to the effect of this guy is probably the overall number 1 player in fantasy moving forward. I believe you said that last week, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Him and Kamara right in contention.
Well, Cook put up 206 yards and 2 touchdowns and just kind of like took us out. There you go, Kamara. Let's see what you can do. And I want to point out there was a lot of ground pie to be had in this game because Alexander, the dumb fuck dud Madison, also put up like 70 yards.
Absolutely. This zone blocking scheme is firing on all cylinders. Cook is looking better and better by the week. Just a monster. Yes, he's been taking advantage of easy matchups, but the good news is he's got cakewalk matchups all year. And it's not like he needs cakewalk matchups, but it's good to see whenever you have that lined up beautiful thing, just to take advantage of it. And just, again, all green, 1, 2, 3, 4 of his next 6 games in the green for matchup rankings. So this is going to continue. at the toughest position to find value. Well done by Dalvin Cook. Absolutely. No.
Did you see him in the press conference afterwards? He looked like such a boss.
He is a boss. He's the fucking man.
If you didn't see it, you should look at him. Just his outfit and just kind of his demeanor, how he answers questions. He's the coolest guy in the room, and he knew it.
Absolutely.
All right, another stud of the week. I hope you could at least keep it in your pants when you're around other people. I know when you're by yourself, it's just out flopping around all the time. I was going to go in McCaffrey. I didn't think you got the same boner for Josh
I was like,
Allen.
I love Josh Allen. That
right, but I was like, man, I'm hyping this up. All right, we're skipping right ahead to CMC.
Yeah,
because I already started my intro, we'll come back to it. I mean, you were excited for this for a long time, and the point that I made to somebody was just like, it seems like when people use the phrase like they print their own money. Seems like he just kind of like just makes fantasy points out of nowhere. I didn't even think he had that great a game, really. He had like 36 PPR points, 18 rushes for 69 yards. That's kind of pedestrian. Did score, but then the 10 catches for 82 yards and another score. That's where you see the massive McCaffrey value, and that's why he's on the stud list.
Absolutely, and quote unquote rotating series with Mike Davis, who was involved, but. This is just immediately back. Insert your workhorse, insert your target hog, bell cow, every single word in fantasy that you want someone to be described as. Christian McCaffrey is it, and it took him no time to get smashed right back into that number one overall consideration alongside Dalvin Cook, the other running back stud of the week.
Yep. All right, let's go back to Allen now, who you like. But you're not just holding a constant boner for like.
No, I'm not whipping the helicopter around for Allen.
Yeah, but I got to read the banners better. Allen, 31 for 38, 415 yards, 4 total touchdowns, and kind of a beatdown of the Seahawks.
Absolutely pulverized them. 1 on the ground, 4 total. Just an absolute smashing. And my DraftKings quarterback of the week, my stack of the week. I haven't looked at how I did. I only had Dalvin Cook in 1. I was like, everyone's going to have him. So I got a little cute with that, unfortunately. But I think my lineups, I cashed. I feel pretty good about my lineups. We'll tune in a second and see how I did.
All right. Awesome. Our fourth guy, actually, because we skipped around, Devontae Adams. He's also no stranger to this list these days. 10 catches, 173 yards, and a touchdown. We talked last week about is he maybe the best receiver in the game, and he talked about that too.
Yeah,
I was talking with some friends of mine. I always like that when someone throws their name out there in that conversation. I was talking to some friends of mine, and we kind of said, or I said, and they didn't disagree with me. It seems like there's 3 guys right now that are the best 3 receivers in football. I'd be interested to know what you think. I said Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, who did not do anything to help his case today at all, and DK Metcalf. What do you think? What do you think about those guys?
I mean, it's clear that as good as Metcalf is, another great day from him. Adams is just head and shoulders above everybody else. He's averaging over 28 PPR points since last year and his full starts. It's insane the amount of targets he gets bathed in, the rapport that him and Rodgers have. It's just there's nothing like it. It's literally like a workhorse, but outside wide because you're getting 12 looks every single game at minimum, and it's just going to always be the damage. First catch of remember that first throw? He's like, oh, well, here comes an Adams touchdown. It's like clockwork, literal clockwork. He after those like big 3 running backs of McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, and Kamara, I think Adams is number 4 rest of season. Like there's maybe Derrick Henry probably right there with his playoff schedule, but Adams top 5 at worst, number 5.
All right, fair enough. The guy that's going to round out our stud nominee list, Travis Kelce, who we both don't like personally, but we cannot deny his greatness and just the massive edge that he gives you at the tight end position. He is so far ahead of the second best tight end, whoever that is, maybe Kittle, although he's injured, so you can't even put him in that conversation. He had 10 catches on 12 targets, 159 yards, ho-hum. Who do you think's the second best tight end right now in fantasy?
I mean, that's like you mentioned, the huge edge because now there's no Kittle.
Like Jared Cook or something.
Maybe Darren Waller probably, right?
Yeah, probably Waller.
The steadiest diet of targets, but it's not even close to Kelce's level. So it's just a massive, the stud of the list when a tight end's getting you 10 catches and 159, like insane edge. I don't know why I don't get this guy first round every fucking year because the teams that get him always end up being in the top 4. It's ridiculous.
I mean, and there's so much to go around in Kansas City. I mean, he did. There are a lot of people that had good weeks. Tyreek didn't even make our up list or our stud list. He had another 2 touchdowns and 100 yards, I feel like, and a few catches. So, I mean, there's just a lot of mouths to feed in KC. and he feeds them all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So anyway. Absolutely. I mean, Dalvin seems like the winner, the most points again, but to me, I think Kelce honestly deserves it just because of how huge of an edge he gives. I mean, I don't know the exact number 2 scoring tight end as of right now, but I feel like it was Hawkinson with like 11 or 12. So when you get 25, 27, depending on your scoring versus 12, like just that 13-point gap, there's not going to be that gap in between any of these other positions. There's somebody close enough. So to me, the winner is Travis Kelce. What do you think?
I don't want to agree with you on this, but I think that you're probably right for the pretty much exact argument we both just made, which is that it's just such an advantage over the next guy. And so when your guy puts up 26 at that position, and then my tight end today, you don't have Kelce, right?
No, I wish.
Who? How many points did your tight end?
I had Jordan Reed put up point fucking.
Oh yeah. By the way, I have on the bottom of my list here in notes, I have no choice but to call the wolf out for Jordan Reed.
Yeah,
and below that, I mocked you for that when you said it in the first place.
Deserve.
And then directly under that, I also have no choice but to call the wolf out on JaMychal Hasty.
Deserve.
So anyway,
we'll get there.
We're going with Kelce. We're going with Kelce. I hate it, but it's a fact. My tight end's Mike Gesicki had 7 points. Picked him up off waivers for this game because Dallas Goedert is hurt, and he also sucks. So, all right, let's get the duds of the week. We had a lot of duds. We actually had 12 guys going in like a few minutes before airtime, and we had to whittle it down. We took guys where injury. Yeah, we took guys off for injury. Although there were some guys that got injured that I felt pretty good about having duds of the week, but we had to do some parsing out process. Number 1, Corey Davis, my man. This is somebody that the Wolf was finally all in on. Me too. I'm not going to put it on the Wolf. I wrote an article about him. I think I had to stock up maybe on him. And, what do you have? 10 catches, $128 last week, maybe a touchdown too. I'm not sure. This week, 0 catches, 3 targets. Just when you think you can trust a guy, Corey Davis.
This is what he does. This is what he fucking does. What an asshole, per usual. Like
I was thinking about you as I was watching that 0 just stay up there for the entire 60 minutes of the fucking game.
Complete and utter 0. This is the Corey Davis we all know and fucking despise. This is what we've called out for so long. But now he just built up enough goodwill for you to insert him in your lineup just to deliver it. What a fucking loser. Absolutely. I don't even know what else to say. Just I fucking hate him. I've always hated him. I should never have ever fucking trusted this loser. Ugh.
No, you shouldn't have. And the sad thing is now we hate him and he'll probably put up 100 yards next week. We're never going to get him right.
Exactly.
Nominee number 2. I thought you were overselling this guy last week. But I also anyway, I thought you were overselling him. I just didn't buy into it was really more the 49ers than him that I didn't buy into. He ended up being pretty much of a dud this week, right?
Yeah. JaMychal Hasty was pathetic. 2 fantasy points. Just to make matters worse, McKinnon ended up eating for like 15 fantasy points, a touchdown at the end of the fucking game.
But let me just say, McKinnon sucked too. I mean, he had a couple good runs at the beginning of the game, but he was a dud until he randomly scored a complete mop-up touchdown
with 4 seconds left. Right. Who I'm facing, of course, with Jordan Reed in my lineup.
Right. And of course, I didn't play him. I played Justin Jackson instead, so I left 15 points on the table. Horrible. So it made me almost as mad as Hasty probably made you.
Yeah, he was treated though, Hasty, top 20 running back. So a lot of people ended up streaming. A lot of great experts recommending.
Did people like him that much? So you weren't even sticking your neck out as much as I
no. A lot of people loved him. And I mean, the number 1 run D, like easiest run D in the league, that just got destroyed. It seemed to all look like it was headed his way, and then they got blown the doors off of him. And the game script just wasn't there for him. And he should be cut. At this point, fuck him. Like, I don't want to touch him again. But he's awful. He's just fucking awful. So is this guy who had even higher expectations.
God, this guy,
James Cowboys.
Against the Cowboys. Speaking of shitty defenses, James Conner, who's somebody. Let's face it, you and I have never really believed in James Conner, at least not for a little while, not for a couple years. 9 rushes, 22 yards. But hold on, he did get some work in the receiving game. He had 2 catches for another -2. So. Right, that's James Conner for you. The Steelers number 1. They're 8-0. That was a shitty game.
Absolutely, complete crap fest in the matchup where everybody destroys them on the ground. Just pathetic. I mean, DJ Moore for a 4th nominee, 3 targets, catches in 2 of them for 18 yards. What a fucking loser. How many people are we going to keep trying to justify this motherfucker for? Like, it's the worst.
I'm done with DJ Moore.
No, especially with Curtis Samuel, who we'll talk about later. Talk about him and risers. Like, absolute loser, but not quite as bad as this guy you hinted at who you faced.
Thank goodness. I love DeAndre Hopkins in general, and I did face him, and I was expecting he'd put up at least 20 on me because he's DeAndre Hopkins, and because he's got this great quarterback now, spreads it around, can do just about anything. Not so. 3 catches, 30 yards, so 6 PPR points. I just want to point out my tight end, Mike Gesicki, outscored DeAndre Hopkins today. So I felt pretty good about that. So, here's 2. So Gesicki outscored Hopkins in my game. Then I got a 0 from Justin Jackson. I was like, great. But then he had Corey Davis. So that even
perfect. The donuts balance out.
Right. Worked out pretty well. Who's our dud of the week?
To me, I feel like the winner has to be James Conner or Hopkins, the biggest names that just like relative to what's the expectation for them. Yeah, they didn't disappear and get you 0 like Corey Davis, but I mean, to get under 7 for DeAndre Hopkins and James Conner, what was he, 4 points?
4 points and negative yards. I mean, and it's only, honestly, should you get a point for a negative catch in PPR? Probably not, but you do. I would say it's Conner. Yeah.
So we both agree. Dud winner, Conner. Absolutely pathetic performance when you mix in the expectations, the schedule. I get he got game flowed, but you hope he's a 3-down horse that can kind of tackle the game flow, and no, did not at all. So that was quite awful to see. In terms of like after the fact is like, who do we cut after this? Like who's on my cut list? I always love thinking about this one. I think Hasty has to be. I know
Hasty's got to be in your list. Tasty Hasty. You were so happy about Tasty Hasty.
Just a disgusting Hasty. Awful. Bad
taste in your mouth, Hasty.
Henry Ruggs at this point, like I streamed him over Curtis Samuel. Where's the fucking warmest like bath and knife? Like that was the worst decision of my fucking life. 22 for Samuel and fucking 1 from Ruggs. Worst decision. I'm gonna pull Mike fucking Tommen from Game of Thrones and leap out. Awful stuff. But fucking Le'Veon Bell though. I mean, do we hold on to this guy? I get he's got the handcuff upside, but Darrell Williams is just as involved. Like fucking, I don't know. I don't know what to make of him, but I don't see any reason to hang on to him outside of upside handcuff territory.
He's one of those guys that's so hard to cut because you're just looking at him. You're like, this was like the best fantasy guy that there was 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And, now he's on the Chiefs and it's like, oh, that could be the perfect position. And then it's like, but he's not doing anything and he's still not doing anything. And how long am I mean, roster spots are important at this point.
They really are.
I'd at least be thinking about it.
Exactly. So let us know if you have anyone you're trying to think, can I cut this guy? I'm considering him. We'll be more than happy to give us your take, our take on that. But let's talk about, I want to get your questions. We still got some time. Okay. I just want to make sure we don't leave anyone stranded.
We got 20, 25 minutes maybe. Let's go 3 up, 3 down. We'll go through them pretty quick. We might actually have like more like 5 up, 4 down, but let's do it.
Yeah, the numbers got a little off here.
On the upswing, DJ Chark and Jags passing game under Jake Luton. They told us this was going to happen.
It was
you're an idiot if you didn't know it was going to happen. Now the passing game didn't go. There was somebody, I don't remember who
did. On our Wednesday pod, got made fun of it.
Huh?
What's that?
I said there was a guy in the Jags. Yeah, you did too. I don't know what was up, but the Jags passing game under Jake Luton. I mean, they said this was going to happen. You'd be a fool not to listen to the Jags when they talk about their passing attack. But it wasn't the whole pass. There was at least one Jags receiver that didn't do anything. I don't remember who it was, but Chark certainly got a lot, and then there was somebody that got like 1 point. I don't remember who.
Yeah, Chanel got hurt, so it could have been him.
Okay.
I don't know.
Cole did. Might have been him. Cole didn't do anything.
Yeah, so
maybe it's just Chark.
Exactly. It all went to Chark, and that rapport was clearly there. So Chark's value just completely revived. It looked like, I had him pretty low in my rankings, a lot of questions about him, and I said to bench him. So apologies in advance. Feel free to lambast me on here, but hit me up if you want to. But you got to feel good if you own Chark. And he got married in the bye week and like maybe just like more like mental clarity. I don't know. The dude played fucking money. So good for this dude. Good for Luton to have that rapport with him. And Luton just in general looking decent. So I like to see it.
Houston sucks, by the way. Yeah. Jerry Jeudy, Broncos passing game. Similar thing we got going on. Jeudy went 7 catches, 125 yards, and a touchdown. Broncos are such a weird team.
Like so weird.
Well, I don't even know. I don't know what to make of them. They seem like they're out of every single game they play, and then they like almost win or win them. I don't know. They almost beat the Falcons today. I think.
Yeah. They just barely lost. But that's the thing is they have the offense, it seems, these last couple of weeks. 313 yards, 2 scores, as well as a rushing touchdown on the ground for Jake Locke. He's just eating in these easy matchups, and it's good to at least see him capable of taking advantage of these because he looked pathetic for large stretches of the season when he's been out there. But at least we know he can take advantage of it. Guys like KJ Hamler putting up 75. You mentioned Judy's huge day. Tim Patrick finding pay dirt. Like, it seems like Locke, whose schedule is very easy moving forward, can actually sustain some real fantasy value after looking like complete crap early on. So it's good to see. It's good to see those weapons that are very intriguing, especially Judy, who has been dominant, like running some of the best routes in the NFL, finally get the attention and the love he deserves. This is a huge rise for him that the team is finally actually using a guy that's dominated all year and just has been so underutilized.
Yep. Evan Ingram, back-to-back quality games for a shitty ass team, but he did have 5 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown. And at the tight end position, like we referred to before, I mean, that puts him in contention as the second best tight end, doesn't it?
Seriously, third most targets at the position. Like he's getting the volume, and finally that volume's coming to fruition for him. So it just, as you said, at such a barren position, he got dropped in a lot of leagues. I know. Yep. I hit cut him in at least 2 of 3 leagues because I was so all in on him coming into the year. We're finally seeing that athleticism that we love. The volume coming into fruition. Daniel Jones is finally hitting his targets is really what it's coming down to. Who looked better this week too. He seems to be taking a couple good steps. Looked good against the Bucs. Seems to be getting his confidence a little more, Daniel Jones, and finding his groove in the system. And the schedule does end up softening up here. So good to see. And my last riser, C-Mac, just right back into number 1 overall contention. Yep. It just immediately, boom. Not that he had that much room. I think he was 7 or 8 on the rest of the season big board, but to walk right in and put up 30-something points is just I'm back, baby. I'm fucking back, and I love you. Although he did get dinged up at the end. Fallers, I had a handful here. Devin Singletary, we talk about cut list. He should have been on the cut list, right? Is there any reason to own Devin Singletary?
That's why I would hesitate to even put him on the list just because I consider him irrelevant.
Completely irrelevant. 2 fucking carries. And it wasn't like Zach Moss like dominated and got a ton of work, but he saw 9 carries.
No, but Buffalo scored an ass ton of points. Like you would think that he would have been involved, and he wasn't.
Nothing. And Zach Moss dominating at the goal line, dominating in the receiving work, the valuable touches. Josh Allen having 7 carries. So I mean, he's an afterthought. And I don't know. Their bye is coming up in week 11. They get the card. Like there's just no reason to get this guy lingering on your team.
Get rid of him.
Get rid of him. And one of our risers, you mentioned Curtis Samuel, right? Well, he had a huge day.
Yeah, he had a massive day. He had 9 for $105 and a touchdown.
Yeah, and so in light of that, where the fuck are you, DJ Moore? Completely non-existent. We already mentioned him as a dud of the week, but Robbie Anderson, another 13 targets. Christian McCaffrey, 10. Samuel, 9. So a distant 4th, maybe 5th. Probably
kick this guy when he's down.
He's just a loser, absolute tool. I have, and again, I liked him coming into the year, but this is just in too many of these for us to just keep saying this guy's buy low. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Fuck him. He was our bust of the week too. So we good call for us. I had to put this guy on. He found pay dirt, Jonathan Taylor. But as you said it, like when we were talking before the show, anybody watching it, right. How could you feel good about this, right? Yeah,
he put up a certain number of fantasy points because he did score just kind of a pointless touchdown. But as I said to you, I saw what I saw.
Yes, that's what it was. I saw what I saw. Exactly. This was not good. Wilkins still out-producing, out-touching. Just disgusting. This backfield's never going to have any clarity.
Forget about it. I don't want any part of this backfield.
None of it at all. And in offense as a whole, that Ravens team, no squeaky wheels getting greased, nothing dependable. Like,
and keep in mind, this came in a win. Like the Ravens put up 24 points. I think I forget how many games in a row they've had 20 plus points, but they made a point of mentioning that it's a big deal. Their offense is always producing something. And as I was doing my down list, it would have been completely filled with Ravens if we hadn't edited it later, because Lamar certainly could belong on there. 170 yards passing, 58 rushing yards and a touchdown, but not what you're looking for. Marquise Brown, another 6-point PPR game. Mark Andrews, I think, had 3 catches for 22 yards. J.K. Dobbins, 12 carries for 30 yards, 2 catches for 5 yards. Remember, we thought there was a chance of a coming out party here. No such luck.
Anemic. Just everything's anemic. Nothing dependable. And it's just a damn shame for an offense that led the league in points last year many thought could even take another step. Like, it seemed natural regression was going to happen, but I didn't think they were going to. At this point, I think they're bottom 20 in terms of total scoring. Like, it's not good. It is not good at all. And the schedule gets a little bit lighter. So I would say, yes, they're going to fall, but the schedule looking so soft after the Patriots this week. And it's not like that's scary. That's a bad beer burp right there. Oh,
that's all right.
But after the Pats, which is still, again, not that scary of a matchup, I do think the Ravens could be some intriguing buy lows because that offense could spark. But yeah, you got to give them a down air on the rest of the season big board from here on out. Those were the ones I think we had. Is there any others on the list?
That was it. We got a waiver wire thing. If you want to just run, if you want me to run down and just tell you the percent owned there are. Curtis Samuel.
I got the names. We got Curtis Samuel, 29% owned. He's definitely the top guy.
Can I make a point on Samuel real quick? I said he went 9 for $105 and a touchdown. His last 5 weeks in PPR scoring, going 5 weeks back in order, have been 8 points, 10 points, 16 points, 21 points, and this week 27 points. Obviously, it's going to peak at some point. It's not going to do that forever, but you're seeing a real trend, and you can't ignore that trend. If you can pick this guy up, you need to.
And the real thing too is people concerned, myself included. I didn't play him because Christian McCaffrey's back, right? So is he going to Samuel still get some of that backfield involvement? But yeah, I mean, he was in the backfield. He was motioning all over the place. He's really carving out his role, and this offense just keeps finding its groove more and more by the week. So I don't think this is an anomaly. I think he's, dare I say, more valuable than DJ Moore moving forward. Like,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Teddy Big Dick slinging it around to him.
We just got to accept it. Duke Johnson also with David Johnson getting a concussion. I don't love Duke Johnson, but starting running back volume. We've all been hoping to see Duke Johnson get unleashed. I think the guy's great.
For 6 years.
10 years now, exactly. We probably would be, as soon as we think it's going to happen, they're going to hand it to some bum. Dr. Foreman will come back. Oh, he's with the Titans now. Yeah, Duke Johnson could be like an RB2 just based on volume. That offense is putting up its points. He found the end zone today. So he's intriguing. We mentioned Drew Lock and that offense sparking. Very tasty. I think top 6 schedule moving forward for quarterbacks. And he can get it done in these matchups. The defense is kind of crumbling, which helps create those shootouts that we love to see. So I like Drew Lock, 13% owned. If you're having quarterback troubles, very intriguing. Last 2, though. Kalen Ballage, is this the new – you started Justin Jackson, so you're very well aware of this man, Kalen Ballage. Oh.
I mean, he was okay. I mean,
he put up like 17 points, I want to say.
He was fine. Justin Jackson put up 17 last week,
and that's what it is it Trumaine Pope. So I don't want to go blow my complete load on Kalen Ballage, but this offense is putting up backfield points. It's just a matter of who's it going to fucking be. And next week it'll be some nobody. It'll be Josh Kelly.
Josh Kelly, who you fucking love. You love
fuck Josh Kelly. What a fucking loser. He's one name, and the last one, Irv Smith, finding 2 touchdowns at such a barren position. It seems like he's getting more and more involved by the week. Yeah, Rudolph's still there, which you got traded. But I guess Richie James too. I mean, I think to me, he's the fool's gold of the week. Like, he kind of stepped into Ayuk's role and dominated, and it's so frustrating because I'm an Ayuk owner. It's like, this is what he would have been doing, 185 yards. Like, fuck. Leads the league in week 9 receiving. Yep. It would have been awesome to see Ayuk do that. But I think when he's back, I don't see Richie James continuing to do this. Debo's coming back. He's the one that looks awesome, but most people should recognize like that's going to be by far an anomaly at this point. We covered the injuries, but let's get to the mailbag in a second. Just making sure you guys know David Johnson exited with a concussion, did not return. Preston Williams was carted to the locker room. That one looked season-ending. Yep. Hopefully not that relying on him, but it looked like he was finally getting it together at a touchdown. Justin Jackson exits. He returned, I think, but didn't put up any stats.
One play just to flip me the double middle finger.
Exactly, yeah. It's just, hey, Truth, fuck you. We're not going to touch the ball here. Montgomery left after another classic all-nothing.
This actually was reporting that they didn't actually realize he was gone for a quarter and a half.
Exactly. It was a quarter and a half.
Has anybody seen David?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like he hasn't done much. Oh, yeah, he's been in the locker room for the last 25 minutes of gameplay.
Best graphic of all time, too, that one that's like feet of Saquon and vision of Dalvin Cook. And so remember that Frankenstein? I don't know if you've ever seen it, but he has the pieces of all the best running backs. He is fucking horrible. And Laviska Shenault left with a hamstring injury, did not get it cooking with Jake Luton. And last one, Kyle Allen. Not that you're probably starting Kyle Allen unless you're in a 2-quarterback league.
Here goes my playoff run.
Right, exactly. My brother Sam was actually starting him today, and I had to just It was a brutal looking injury. I guess it's, not quite as bad as it looked initially, but certainly looks like he's done for the year. Which he was getting that offense kind of humming a little bit, but at the end of the day, that's nothing big. So let's get on to your questions. Let's see if we got what people need, what we got.
Mike Clay, CMC is back, baby. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Keep it in your pants. Fat boy, give this man a thumbs up. That's right.
Love you, fat boy. And that's just another reminder. If you're tuned in here and you don't mind giving us a thumbs up, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, the hearts, wherever you're at, give us that like. It helps us reach more people. We greatly appreciate it.
25. I'm up by 83. My opponent has Tom Brady, Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray, and New Orleans kicker left. It could be interesting.
Ooh, you got yourself a nail biter there.
I want to just say I hate games like that when I'm up by a lot and then they have a bunch because I'm just like, I just want the game to end. I'm like, just run the clock. Let it get
me against Brady. Yeah, last week I was sitting and watching Brady.
And then I lost. I lost 147.
Absolutely. Crazy day, as Mitch Chavez says.
I feel for the Chargers losing like that in back-to-back weeks. Yeah, and the guy knew he dropped it, and he jumped up like it was a touchdown. It's like, dude, there's cameras everywhere.
I used to think it was a Phillip Rivers thing. It's just a Chargers thing.
An Anthony Lynn thing.
It's exact. They cannot close out these games.
Went with AB over Deontay. This is Mike Clay again. Let's go. I think that was a good call.
What did Deontay end up doing? He had a decent day, but let's go AB.
I don't remember his stat line, but I still think it's a good call. Mike Clay says need a big game from Brady, going against him in 2 other leagues, so that's almost a lock. LOL.
Yeah, exactly. Once you're facing someone in 2 leagues, they're going to slap you around.
Justin Jackson gave me a 0-2. 25. We are brothers in this.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook is a G. Yeah.
Absolute.
Seamus J. Timberlake got a massive double win today. It's not even over yet. Massive's in caps. I am a total, and that's also in caps, fantasy football stud, and that is in caps. Much thanks to you, RSJ gentlemen, for helping make it happen. Firework emoji, happy glasses guy emoji, heart emoji, fire emoji, dancer emoji, which I think is code for Seamus.
Hell yeah, Seamus. That literally is Seamus in a nutshell. All of that all together. That is Seamus. Love it.
Cameron Q. Geckel. Need Jared Cook to score 86.4 points for a win in 1 league. Hope you guys are doing better than that. Oh, man. Well, he might be like the 3rd best tight end going.
Yeah, exactly. Tough fucking hole. Oh,
I am doing better than that. I'm sorry. I've had weeks like that. Kyle Tuneberg. Hey, guys, I'm up 156.04 to 113.9. So he's looking at like a 43, 42-point lead. I'm done. He has Evans and Thomas. I'm not too confident. What do you guys think about it? I would favor you slightly, but I understand why you would be nervous.
Yeah, those are 2 big guns to be going up against, but we need AB week, baby. So no Evans. I could see Evans. He's had those disappearance games. So I like your odds tunes. I like your odds here, definitely.
Mick Chavez stud would be Cook again.
Yeah, he thinks Cook. He doesn't like our choice.
It wasn't a terror. I mean, that's not a bad call.
Not at all.
Mitch says, I'm up 40 now for the week, looking to win again, and by that much, at least 2. Mitch has been rolling.
Mitch is rolling. He tunes in the show every day, baby. That's a true wolf right there.
Cameron Q. Geckel, the guy that was down 83.5 with Jared Cook to go. And his other one, I guess he says, I'm up 3.5 going against Gore and Kamara. I have AB left. That's my only winnable match this week. Well, Gore's probably not gonna hurt you too bad.
No, but Kamara against AB, prayers up, Cam. That's a tough gap to close.
David Johnson for a dud. Mitch Chavez says he was on the original list. We took him off because of the injury, but I agree he was a huge disappointment.
Huge disappointment.
The end. Tim Patrick was a choice. Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah, we got him this morning. We said get Tim Patrick, and he scored. It's got in the end zone there for you at the end. I'm glad he tunes in from the Philippines, baby.
What?
We got Philippines this morning. We got South Korea this morning. We had a global morning show, and the end that he was tuned in at 1 a.m. and we gave him the right call. So I'm pumped to hear it. That's awesome.
You stay up till 1 a.m. You better get the right call. So
exactly.
thanks, man. I'm glad we helped you out. I'm glad
I wanted to message him as soon as he scored. I thought of you. I was like, the end. Let's go.
Mike Clay went with Chark over Parker, which helped me still be in it against Rodgers, Adams, and DK. Whew. So murder throw there.
Rushed. Love it.
Mitch Chavez, James Conner was a big dud today too. Yep. Yeah, man, we raked him over the coals. I think he was our dud of the week.
Yeah, he was. I think because remember we said to comment in your choices, and he's agreeing with us.
Okay,
he said D Hop.
Yeah, he was our runner up.
Absolutely.
Matteo Luciano, Cameron, you should be embarrassed. You're going to lose to someone starting Frank Gore. Yeah, maybe.
I love.
I mean, sometimes the pickings are slim out there.
Yeah, you should never lose it to a guy starting Frank Gore though. I love it.
But Gore's gonna outscore my RB2, Justin Jackson. He probably will.
Yeah. At least Jackson had some decency. You can't look at Frank Gore and ever look in the mirror again if you start Frank Gore. And if you lose to Frank Gore, you really can't look in the mirror. I'm sorry, Cam, but those mirrors you got to avoid for a week at least.
Kyle Tuneberg, hey Wolf, I shot Bambi yesterday morning with my bow, got close to 80 pounds of meat. So deer and trees, when you coming? Picture sent to you.
Deer and trees.
Dude, this guy rules.
Seriously. I love dudes. Yeah, absolutely. Tunes. I got to try. I've never had venison before.
You've never had venison? I'm from Eastern Shore of Virginia. I ate, Kyle, just so you know, ate lots and lots and lots of venison growing up. I like meat and trees too, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, maybe we could all have a RSJ fullback dive party, Tunes. I love it.
Bring it, dude.
No, definitely hang on to some for me. I got to come by and try that out. That sounds awesome.
Mitch Chavez, Tyreek has killed it the last 2 weeks, starting to get more involved. Rest of the season looking really good. I could not agree with you more.
100%. Absolutely, Mitch.
Sarah Riley, lineup with a bust.
No.
David Johnson,
that's not what you want to hear.
Justin Jefferson, Robbie Anderson, and Gibson. Not one hit their projections. I'm down 36 points. Thomas and Lutz left versus that Kamara. I'm going to lose. I'm sorry, Sarah. It does look like you're probably going to lose.
I need a huge night from Lutz too. So, I mean, the only hope, and I'm not ever hope for this, is something happens to Kamara where he's knocked out, and then if he plays the full game, you're not going to win. But if something happens to him early, he gets dinged up and he misses the rest of that, that's the only shot you have. So you never want to see an injury, but that's the one way you could probably survive here.
Mitch Chavez, Waller's the second best. Yeah, I think we agree with you on that.
Definitely.
But you got to admit, it's a nasty drop.
Huge drop.
Nick Swerbinski, I'm 8-1. I want to trade Cook and Madison for Henry and someone else because of his crazy easy playoff schedule. Thoughts?
I don't hate it. And that Cook's, far riskier in the sense of injury. Like Henry's a tank. He's not going down. Now, he doesn't quite have Cook's upside each and every week. Well, I guess he does. I mean,
Cook catches more passes. I love Henry. I have Henry, but Cook is a much more of a threat as a catcher.
Cook also has a crazy easy schedule too. So I like it, especially if you said you're 8-1. So you're going, December, Derrick Henry averages 5.5 yards per carry compared to 4 in October. So this happens every year, and now he's got the easiest cakewalk schedule for it. I like it. I do like that. It's a very forward-thinking move, Nick. I think it's quality.
25, who's my buddy, because we both had Justin Jackson, so I feel like I know this.
We both had Jordan Reed, yes.
Jordan Reed has been screwing people's fantasy teams for a year. Why would you ever fall for that again? Thank you. This guy's okay.
Such a
Were you listening to the last show, 25? Because I gave it to the Wolf pretty good for suggesting Jordan Reed. I think he had him as a Hail Mary.
I did. It was horrible. Horrible decision. Awful decision. I've fallen for him before, and he's never done well for me. I don't know why I keep doing it.
Of course he's never done well for you.
He's a loser. Absolutely. Yeah, it's the worst.
And how many? I mean, what's he had? 15 concussions? And I'm not even trying to be mean to him at this point. He shouldn't be playing football.
It's brutal. Oh, we answered that. That's
okay. Cameron Keckle says I'm on suicide watch. Keep all sharp. Away brutal week. Yeah, and I mean you got raked over the coals for the Gore thing too. And I hope this didn't come in after that or before that, because that'll only make it worse. Matteo Luciano, he who's throwing the Gore shade. Is Jamal Williams a must-hold handcuff for Aaron Jones owners? What do you think?
I think so. I mean, you see him 18 to 20 points every time he has to start. It's one of those ones that it depends on the depth of your bench and if you can really stomach it for bye weeks. But if I can, Jamal Williams has to be the top 3 handcuff because he always gets it done if Aaron Jones is out.
Jimmy McGinnis, Jimbo Slice, dancing his way to the top of the standings.
Talking to our guy Seamus over here.
Oh, Seamus right here. Jimmy McGinnis, what can I say? I've got every year champion level touchdown dance happening. Hashtag dance teacher for another win. Love the banter.
We need to see a celebration from Seamus live. We'll play it on the show for us, for sure.
Cameron Q. Geckel, back from Suicide Watch. Samuel over Moore rest of the season. I have both as more droppable. Honestly, I do like Samuel more than Moore.
I think I like Samuel more than Moore the rest of the season. That doesn't mean I think Moore's droppable just because I like the offense so much, but he's not a must-have depending on how shallow your league is.
25, Henry was shit today.
Yeah. I had him on the list. We had a pretty long list for Dud of the Week, and ultimately he just didn't kill lineups quite as much as others. But yeah, given his expectations, definite shit today.
Richie R. Goff, Bridgewater, or Jake Luton for Matt Ryan's bye week next week. Full PPR, 6-point quarterback. Well, you got to remember, Jake Luton's going to be throwing the ball downfield more.
I like Jake Luton just peppers it, and he can run too, a little bit mobile there.
I definitely would not take Luton though.
Yeah, I don't know the matchups, but off the top of my head, Teddy Two Gloves is my play. I love Teddy Bridge, always have this year. That offense is cooking. I don't know who they're facing quite off the top of my head, but gut reaction is Bridgewater, which
too.
25 agrees with. So I love having the agreement with him there.
Kyle Tunenberg, thanks for the John Brown stream call. Wolf.
He crushed it this week. Yeah, I love when people thank you because it's such a very thankless. People like to come out for the call outs. What the fuck with that call? You blew it, but it's nice to get the rare nice. Thank you.
Richie Arteta playing Tampa next week. That doesn't change my mind. I still
that's exactly. Played KC, which is, as he say, flamed them. I just see more shootout upside, to be honest. So I like it.
Kyle Tunenberg, Wilkins is a cut right now. Even though Jay Taylor didn't have a great game, he seemed to be the number one running back still. So I agree with you, but like we said earlier, man, if I could help it at all, I wouldn't want to touch this backfield in any way.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's adding on to that cut list. You know, who he's considering. I totally endorse a Jay Wilkins cut. Honestly, like Taylor might be a cut. Like honestly, it depends on the league and the depth. I wouldn't because it's just like, what if
someone would pick him up if he did?
I would pick him up if I saw him on waiver wires, but still, it's like. I wouldn't be surprised to see him a replacement level player, like as he's been all year at this fucking point.
Richie R. Kansas City defense is horrible. They looked at today. He's the best quarterback out of your free agent list, says 25, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, as he's saying here, Casey's was pretty good against the pass entering this in.
Richie R. over Drew Lock too? Yeah, I'd say so.
Who does Lock? In most cases, yes, but I want to know. I got to know the matchups. Richie R. I do a Tuesday ranking show. I don't know the week 10 matchups this already. I'm still wallowing, whatever you want to call it, in week 9 right here, hoping for a huge praying. Not wallowing, praying for a big Antonio Brown comeback party. This could be crazy tonight. I'm going to lose my mind if he goes nuts.
I trust Teddy more than any of those guys. KC is 6th against the pass. They're actually really solid, just easier to run on. Says 25.
Yeah, so they're kind of going back and forth on that decision. Yep. So I'm not going to keep pulling that one up. I'm with you for right now. I do like him.
Tuneberg says, maybe I was wrong on the Wilkins call. I just saw the fantasy points and figured Taylor was the lead back today. And that was just a bullshit touchdown.
They both sucked. Yeah, bullshit touchdown for JT, but Wilkins still led that backfield. Either way, Wilkins isn't a must-own. Like none of them, they suck. That backfield is just the absolute worst. Teddy Big Dick. Yeah. that's the only logic we really need at this point.
That's what I said. That guy Kevin, what do you think of this trade, fellas? Jonathan Taylor, Calvin Ridley, James Robinson for Aaron Jones, just because of his playoff schedule. Pretty good position to make the playoffs.
That's hefty, man.
You're giving up a lot, and that's with us shitting on Taylor. He's at least a beast.
I don't love Taylor, and I still think that could be a lot just because Ridley's so fucking good. And James Robinson, if Luton's going to be serviceable like this, Robinson maintains the value that's kept him a top 5 running back all year. So I feel like you gave up a lot. Like, I mean, maybe you have the depth, and Taylor, Jones does have that great schedule, but people make this misconception. I get the text a lot, like, I'm going to be in the playoffs. I don't really need depth, right? It's just about my starting line. Well, you still need depth. Injuries still happen in the fantasy playoffs. Like, I don't know. I don't love that trade by any means.
Matteo Luciano coming into the week. DJ Moore was a 17th overall PPR wide receiver. Samuel is not an anomaly. Is DJ Moore no longer a wide receiver 2 the rest of the season? I don't think he is. I
really don't think he is. And in all honesty, you look at his numbers. He had like 2 blow-up games really fueling that 17. He's been outside the top 40 receivers like 5 out of his 8 weeks, I want to say. So it's been a very fueled by 2 to 3 big games. And those 2 to 3 big games didn't really come on a lot of volume. So I'm kind of out of it, in my opinion.
All right, we're gonna have to wrap this up pretty soon. Kickoff is coming. Ohio,
yeah, Mike. I need to see Antonio Brown, baby. So
I want to be out there for everyone.
We got 6 left.
Ohio Mike 87 says down 21 points with Lutz and Kamara. I mean, a lot of people riding on Lutz right now. Half-point PPR. What are my odds?
I feel great about your odds.
I actually think you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, 10 points from Lutz is kind of like par for the course, and then Kamara is like 30 points par for the course. I'd say 85% chance, like barring injury, you're just about a lock.
I would give you 80%. Mitch Chavez, Saints or Bucks tonight. Whom is winning? Is whom the right word to use there?
Whom? Using that old English.
I don't
like
know.
it.
My grammar's not great, but I'm going to assume you're right just because you had the balls to whip it out. I'm going to go Bucks.
I like the Bucks too. I like Tommy, my boy Tommy.
All right. Brody Roberts, Goff, Chubb, Cooper for Watson, F1 Fuller. 2 QB, super flex league, half PPR. I have Aaron Jones, Henry, Tyreek, Hill, AJ Brown. Wow.
So pretty stacked, good backfield. Like you're not going to really need Chubb. I don't know what Watson's schedule is off the top of my head, what that Texans schedule looks like, but I do think it gets pretty tough down there. But I love Terry. I love Fuller. I think I pull that trigger if you don't need Chubb, because I do like Chubb rest of season, but
sure.
I don't like Cooper. I don't love Goff, and I really like all three pieces you get. So I like that one. What do you think, Nat? You think it's a win?
I actually think that you assessed that exactly the way I would have. I agree.
Yeah. I think it's a solid one.
Mitch Chavez, Juju is finding his place again. 3 weeks in a row of solid play. By the way, the Bucks just went 3 and out.
Antonio Brown, no.
Bill Jiggs. Thinking of naming my first, second, and third born son, Kyler.
Sounds like you deserve it.
Kyler is carrying me. This guy is carrying me this season. Keep up the great shows, gentlemen. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in as always, Jiggy. It was fun. I saw Jiggy
25 says Seamus looks like the 6th Backstreet Boy. Do you know how happy he would be if he heard you say that?
No, he's an NSYNC fan. I bet you he's going to be pissed to hear this one.
Good point, actually.
He's a Justin Timberlake diehard.
He is a die. Remember when he knew like the whole set list he was going to play for the Super Bowl? He was like, oh, he's going to open with Filthy. We were like, what's that? Never heard of it. And he was totally right. Cameron Q. Geckel, couple of goats about to go head to head. Who you got tonight? Like I said, I like the Bucks.
I like Bucks too. Yep.
Brody Roberts, Russell Wilson's also my QB1. Sure. You're doing okay. Game time, boys, says Mike. He's trying to give us the hook, and he's right. DNA being an 81 jersey is odd. I agree with that, Mitch.
Yeah. Kickoffs in the past, so everyone's ready to wind it down. Last one here for Tunes and desperate need of a running back. Jay Taylor McKinnon for next week due to buys. Any injuries today beside Duke Johnson? It really is just Duke Johnson, I think, in terms of handcuffs. Oh, Kalen Ballage as well, Tunes, because Justin Jackson went down. So Kalen Ballage is out there in a lot of leagues and got like 17 points today. So
yeah, don't break the bank though, man.
No, but again, bye week little plug-in if Jackson has time or something of that nature could be for sure. All right, the end from the Philippines. We'll give you one last.
We got it. Yeah, we can't cut him off.
Should I hold on to Zach Moss? Yeah. He had another touchdown a day after having 2 touchdowns involved in the receiving, involved in the stripe. Over those guys, you got
those guys are all garbage, man.
You can cut Breida, you can cut Pope. Like, come on, Zach Moss. The end. Yeah, Zach Moss is the real deal, brother. Alrighty, guys. Wolfpack, thank you so much for tuning in. I of course am the Wolf. Can't even get my sound off right here. Just pumped to see what Antonio Brown does tonight. But you can find all our work, RoastStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed fantasy wolves and the Fantasy Fullback Dive podcast. Pave your path to 2020 titles. All our social medias, Roto Street Journal, Roto Street Wolf on Twitter. You can get me personally, Roto Street Tooth on Twitter as well if you want to DM him. Thank you guys, though, so much. It always is awesome winding it down, keeping that like nice little 20, 30-minute gap. Just getting the crew. It's like our usual guys come in and have a couple beers with us and get ready for the next game. It's a great little Sunday tradition. So thank you, guys. It makes our Sunday to have you join us. So I'm the Wolf.
I'm the Truth.
Later, guys.
See ya.